I'm Andrew Sherman. I'm a Texas transplant who has always been in pursuit of art as a career. I've played in bands, pursued an acting career in Hollywood, but I found it behind the lens of a camera here in Dallas, Texas. I was born in New York, I've lived in Chicago, Los Angeles, Austin, but I love Dallas. There's a magical artistic scene in Dallas that mostly goes unnoticed to the outside world. This podcast is focused on what makes it so special and the people who make it thrive artistically. If you don't live here, and even if you do, you might not have heard of them. This is the Dallas Famous Podcast. So who you gonna be? Who you gonna be when you're all grown? The Dallas Famous Podcast is supported by the Mullen & Mullen Music Project. The music project was created by Mullen & Mullen Injury Law Firm, championing the independent music scene in North Texas. Hello and welcome to Dallas Famous Xtras. Today we're excited to highlight the second annual JAMBALOO Music Festival, a multi-venue celebration that spans Dallas, Fort Worth, as well as other DFW cities, showcasing the best of the North Texas music scene. It's a premier event that brings the community together to experience a diverse range of talent. Alongside the festival, we're also announcing the inaugural JAMBALOO Music Prize, a $20,000 award honoring the best full-length album released by a DFW artist in 2025. The winner, chosen through community votes and industry judges, will be crowned live at the Longhorn Ballroom on June 6, 2026. We have Corey Pond from the Mullen & Mullen Music Project here to share all the exciting details about both events and how you can get involved. You can also check out their website at jambaloo.live. Check that site for lineup announcements, voting info, and how this event will spotlight the incredible talent in our scene. So without further ado, here's Corey. Okay. Hello and welcome to Dallas Famous Xtras. Today we've got Corey Pond, who is the co-founder of JAMBALOO, works on the Mullen & Mullen Music Project, and there's some exciting stuff coming up, and we thought it would be cool to talk about it. So hello, Corey.
Hello, sir. Thanks for having me back.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
Yep, you are a repeat guest. Not a lot of people are, but special people
Honored.
are. Yeah. Well, I mean, first of all, like the JAMBALOO Festival started last year. It was a free festival in Dallas, Fort Worth. Was it in Denton too?
It was last year, yep.
Okay.
Andy's.
And so, yeah. Oh,
May it rest in
peace. Yeah. And so this year, we have another one coming up, second annual, also in February.
Yep.
We expanded the cities this year?
A little bit. There's, I would say more, it's expanded. It's also evolved a little bit. So last year, this is a scoop, by the way.
Nice.
Last year, it was in a total of 5 different venues. And this year, it should be, I mean, you got to give me a plus or minus 1 here, but it should be around 15.
Oh, cool.
Different venues, and a little more, I'll just for now say that it'll be a little more geographically diverse. Still very Fort Worth and Dallas intensive, but we do have a couple of new, a lot of new venues, but a lot of new neighborhoods.
Excellent.
Too. And we will be announcing the lineup and the venues on December the 3rd.
Okay. Cool. This will be out well before that, so
Well, good.
no spoilers.
Good. And that night, I'll go ahead and get a plug in. On December the 3rd, we will be having a announced party to celebrate the lineup announcement at the Cicada in Fort Worth. And Corey Cross and Desi 5 will be performing that evening, and as with all JAMBALOO things, that'll be free.
Cool.
So we hope people will come out and celebrate it.
Excellent.
With us then.
Excellent. Yeah, I mean, it's cool because I've been here for 10 years and I missed a bunch of the festivals that used to happen. So it's cool that there is, again, a festival. You know, you're not the only one in town, but this is, well, you're the only one that's expands out of one town, as it were.
Yeah, that's a unique part of it. And I hope there's, you know, before we came on air, we were talking about the Deep Ellum Block Party, which we're also we'll be a sponsor of and a big supporter of. So I hope there are more festivals in DFW, not less. I really enjoyed the 10 years ago when it felt like, I mean, there was a time where you're like, holy crap, like every weekend there's 2 festivals. That's too many. There were too many. But now it feels like there's not enough.
Yeah, agreed. So I think I just saw the Sick World. Is that the one? There was like some big metal
some
festival.
crazy metal thing out there.
I was like, all right. I mean, I'm not metal, but I'll try to be there for that.
What was, maybe this is out of school here, but what blew me away when I saw that ad, I mean, hey, it's not in my sweet spot music-wise,
Sure, yeah.
but that's one day? All those bands are in one day?
It's going to be a long day.
Like, how you're going to have to miss some of them?
Yeah, I mean,
it looked like a 3-day lineup, all crammed into one day. It was really impressive in that sense.
I kept looking at the dates, and I'm like, there's just one day on there.
Yeah, how am I going to see all these bands at once? I don't even like most of the music, and there's still enough bands that I could easily fill a day.
Yeah, same. That's what I was thinking. There's a few. And I thought Ministry retired. I saw their name on there. So that's another.
Yeah, there was several things. Like down the page, there was Lords of Acid was on there, way down the page.
Yeah.
So if you're into that, I'm sure people are jumping up and down.
Oh, people are freaking out.
This is a really incredible
I definitely
lineup.
saw people that were like, oh my God. It's like some people's wheelhouse completely, yeah.
I did see one person who could listen to this who was complaining because now he knows none of those bands are probably going to come here solo for a while.
Right. Well, that's sometimes though, like in front of and behind, and well, they probably have a contract where they can't. But I was like, maybe
at least for a little while.
Yeah.
But on a lineup that big, I mean, maybe at the very top you might lose them, but
right.
Imagine if Lords of Acid wants to get a gig in June, they could go. They could probably They could probably do it.
Yeah, definitely in Dallas. Okay. Well, so JAMBALOO, it's a week long. Is that right?
Yep, and actually this year it will be from the 7th to the 15th.
Okay.
So there's another little nugget. We had something kind of unexpectedly cool that popped up on February the 15th. And so as a result, we have chosen to extend it a day.
Cool.
To do that thing, which we'll announce on December the 3rd.
Okay. All right. Can't scoop that, I guess. Okay. So that's cool. But what's even cooler is like something else that's totally new. That's kind of why we're sitting here today. It's a music contest, a band contest. What is it called exactly?
We're calling it the JAMBALOO Music Prize.
Okay.
And it is basically the idea was we already have really good bands here. We're doing a lot of things to kind of support the broader community. Mm-hmm. But, I mean, you know and I know, there are bands that come up in Dallas and kind of hit a wall. I mean, I could list some right now, but we won't.
Oh, yeah. We all know.
And they feel like to take the next step, they need to leave.
Right.
And so hopefully, because of the way that this entire thing, which we'll get into in a minute, is set up and the people that are involved, we wanted to come up with a way to make sure that whatever the best piece of art that was made by a musician in Dallas, and there's some caveats that I'll get to in a minute, but whatever that was, that we figured out the best way to identify it. And there's no perfect way to identify art, right? We all know that. Mm-hmm. But we tried to do it in as objective and pure of a way as possible, which we'll get to in a minute. And then to take something homegrown that we know is great, that has been vetted by a lot of experienced people who have seen people be successful in this business, and put something behind it that was going to make a real difference. And the reason it ended up kind of at the scale and size that it did is you won't see a local record deal that's $20,000.
Right.
So this is better financially, generally speaking, than any record deal. The other difference is as you know, when you sign a record deal, they may give you X amount of dollars, but you have a list of things that you have to go spend that money on.
Right.
And all great. They're all great for musicians. I mean, there's no way am I poo-pooing label deals. They're great. But they don't give artists the extra money to go be creative and do unique things. And what they often don't do is fund your next project. Mm-hmm. And they may not fund your tour. So whoever wins this, whether that's a solo artist or a band, the $20,000 gives them enough to where it could make a big difference. If you're wanting to go tour and you don't have a van, well, go buy one. And if you can't afford to prepay all your hotels and all the shit that you would have to do to tour, well, this would give you that way. The other thing, that's not enough though, right? We have to make sure that all the people that matter and that have a big megaphone in DFW, to the extent that we could in that short a time, we wanted to get as many of those people on board to also support and get behind this artist. Because money's one thing, but what's it worth to have KXT play your song on the radio? What's it worth to record a live session on there? What's it worth for them to upload that to the NPR feed? All of which will happen for the winner. What's it worth to have your album in the very best display spot in Josie Records right after it wins this award, and all the press is going to be surrounding it? And I don't know the answer to that, but it's worth a lot, and it's hard to put a value on those things, and it's something that even a label can't always promise. So, excuse me. So we wanted to try and round it out, and we also wanted to involve the people like KXT and Josie Records and Pre-Kindle and Do 214, in addition to all the people that are already involved, including the music offices in both Dallas and Fort Worth and the state of Texas, to try and communicate broadly to all of the artists in DFW that the entire community supports you if you make something great, and you do not have to leave. And you don't have to go somewhere else. And you don't have to take money from somebody that you don't want to. Some people may, unfortunately, still, but at least for one person who's made something great, they're going to get an advantage. And the goal was to make that advantage bigger than any other advantage that anybody could gain locally anywhere in the United States. And I think, at least on paper, that we've accomplished that. So time will tell, but you know, I think all of the people that are involved in JAMBALOO have this dream and vision of somebody winning, and then, you know, a year later they can look back, or we could even look back and say, hey, we helped, like, they're now doing this. And it's not going to come from me. I'd love to hear it from one of the artists that wins it that says, you know, that was an important thing that happened in my career, and if it hadn't happened, I don't know if I would have done this. And when other people hear that, and when some of the other things that are going on in Dallas right now that are very artist-focused and supportive, whether it's mental health, whether it's healthcare, whether it's things like JAMBALOO, I think you're starting to see this awesome support system in DFW that I don't think existed even 2 or 3 years ago. Not anything like it does now. And this has nothing to do with us. We are a part of something that's happening. But I notice all the time people working together on things at a really, it doesn't seem normal to me the way it happens in Dallas. And I don't profess to know a lot about the other cities, but from everything I hear, it is unique. You talk to people in Austin, they say, no, that doesn't go on down here as much. And so hopefully Dallas and Fort Worth both can work together to uplift this entire community. Everybody has their own initiatives and goals and responsibilities they have to take care of. But I think what we do and a couple of other organizations do is try to bring all that together in a way, you know, where 1 + 1 equals more than 2. And this is an example of that. So we have to actually execute on all those things on that piece of paper.
Right.
But I think we can do all that.
Yeah. I mean,
so I'm excited. The festival was really exciting because it's such a big endeavor and it's such a massive undertaking to, you know, the part that the consumer sees.
Right.
We're doing 25 shows and there's all this marketing and branding and all this stuff. Almost all of this is behind the scenes stuff.
Right.
And I personally enjoyed this. And when we announced this, it felt cooler to me than when we announced the festival, because I can see how this might help someone directly.
Yeah.
And most of the other things that we're doing, which are all wonderful except for one, are broad, they're broad-based. The venue prize, which we announced this summer, is very specific. But let's be honest, and God bless the cicada, I love them to death, but the cicada is not going to ever play Madison Square Garden, right? I mean, and most likely none of these people will either, but they might.
Maybe. Yeah.
They might. And if they do, I would like to think that they might look back on this and say, you know what, that was a moment.
That was the turning point.
Now, if somebody's playing Madison Square Garden, they're probably going to get there with or without us, right? We're not, but we might help them get there faster. We might make it easier.
Well, also, like you said earlier, maybe it's a band that's on the cusp of like, we can't do this anymore, and then this keeps them in the game, and then they get to Madison Square Garden or wherever, Red Rocks or whatever.
Well, and I'm not going to share any of them here, but I promise you and I both know a lot of the same stories about bands that got almost there. Mm-hmm. And now the dude is an accountant or whatever. And those are great stories too, but this gives somebody one more swing at it, right?
Yeah.
Like, we've got some momentum, and now we've got some money behind us. And not only that, we've got the broad support of some really important names within this community. So let's go make the most of it and see what we can do.
Yeah. And I mean, it goes without saying that whoever's even in the final three, everyone's going to be, that band name will be in your head, or that artist will be in your head. They'll get local notoriety, and who knows what national publication is going to pick up on it because it's cool. Like, I don't know that this is going on in other places like this. Yeah,
I will give a quick shout out to our neighbors in Shreveport. They recently did just this weekend.
Yep.
Did a prize fest, I think is what it's called, and I apologize if I'm screwing it up, and a Dallas band won that.
Yeah, and came in third.
That's right. Desi, who's playing the December 3rd show at the Cicada.
That's right.
But that sounded like a really neat thing, and honest to God, I've scoured the earth, and so have multiple other people, and the biggest local music prize in the United States that we could find is in Shreveport, and it happened last week.
Huh. How much were they giving out?
10.
Okay.
Which is still a lot. And they have a big fun. Like next year, I almost thought about going this year, and I think next year I will go.
Sure. Yeah, and Kurt Paranoia won that one. We've had Cameron on the podcast, and I know the Block Party, I'm guessing they haven't announced the bands, but I'm pretty sure they'll be in there too.
Seems like there's a good chance they would be.
Definitely. So, let's break this down. What do you have to do to be eligible for this contest?
So right now, today, as anybody's listening to this, you can go to jambaloo.live and you'll see, if you can't figure out how to find the submission thing, then you don't deserve to be eligible, right? It's pretty straightforward.
Minimum. Yeah.
So go to the website, and while you're there, you can enter. In order to enter, which I think is the question, more than 50% or more of your full-time band members have to reside in the 11-county Dallas-Fort Worth metro statistical area.
Okay.
That sounds super not cool, what I just said. But it's based on the census, I think, is what actually
we don't want
defined
Austin bands coming in and taking this prize.
And it's 11 counties. It's not like a small space.
It's not like you're saying Dallas.
What makes it super convenient is that it is the whole of all 11 counties. Mm-hmm. So there's no gray area. You either live in it or you don't.
Right. Now, can you if your grandmother lives in, no, I'm just kidding.
I sure hope.
Your grandmother better be in the band at that point.
And then you have to release a full-length album by our definition of full-length album, which I'm sure there are lots.
You mean you have to have one out, or there's a time frame of that?
It has to be released in the calendar year 2025, this year that we're in right now.
Okay.
And you will be able to submit that up until January the 4th. Some people release albums at the end of the year, so we wanted to give those people a couple of days to get it in there. But,
and when you say album, you mean like a full release? It literally have to be on vinyl, or?
The way that we have defined it doesn't have to be printed. There doesn't have to be any physical media. Is 7 or more songs and 30 or more minutes.
Okay.
And I totally get, before anybody says anything, that grindcore albums might not meet the 30-minute thing, or you could possibly have some jazz composition that is 3 or 4 songs and it's
Or jam
50
bands,
minutes, right? Or a jam bands, right? So to those people, I would say that I'm sorry that you got bureaucratically eliminated this year, but we have to define, there has to be some standards, right?
Sure.
And if we lower the standards to accommodate special exceptions in grindcore or jazz, then when we do that, we let in every EP in DFW.
Yep.
And at some point, and I'm not saying that someone that's making an EP could make amazing music. Somebody that's making a grindcore album could make amazing music. Somebody that's making a 3-track jazz record. But they just won't fit within this. Mm-hmm. And this ought to catch, let's be honest, 99+% of the people here.
Yeah.
And to be honest, we've never done this before either, so I'm positive that at the end of the year, but not until then, we will sit down and listen to all the feedback that we've got. And there's nobody over here on our end is making anything off of this.
Right.
So we just want it to be, we want it to be done properly and right and fairly and objectively. And we want to make sure that the right people win. So if somebody feels all strong with that, well, I encourage them to communicate that to us on June the 7th. Of 2026, because it ain't changing this year. The die is cast for this one.
Fair. Yeah, there's not really a lot of time to change. It's already out there. Okay. So now, how are you going to figure out who's going to win this?
Great question. And we deliberated over this a lot. So the format that we used was kind of a hybrid. If you will be aware, I don't know how many of your listeners will, but there's 2 major music prizes in the world, kind of in the indie side of things, the Mercury Music Prize and the Polaris Music Prize. Mercury is based in England, I think London, but maybe not London, somewhere over there. And then the Polaris Music Prize is the entire country of Canada. And they both do it very differently, but there's pros and cons to both, and they both take it extremely seriously. And so we kind of looked at those and a few others, but mainly those, and took what we thought were the best pieces and made our own. And what that ended up being is a 15-person panel, 15 judges, I guess. I hate the word judge, but I can't figure out the better way to say it. So 15 judges. I promise you that you, for sure, know who, at least, every single one of those people are. They are all people that matter at a pretty high level in DFW music. Mm-hmm. But they are anonymous. One small piece of the puzzle, that's partially to keep those people from getting annoyed and also to keep it as objective as we can. So those people, there's some math thing in here, but I'm not going to get into that. But what I will say is that every judge will listen to the same number of records, and every record will be listened to the same number of times.
Okay.
So if we had 150 albums, which I don't think we will, but if we did, not one human being alive would sign up for, I'm going to listen to 150 records front to back in a month.
Right.
You can't do that, right? And these people, not that wish they were, but they're all doing this for free. They're all doing it because they like the idea and they want to support it. So once we know roughly how many, then we'll decide how many. Maybe every judge listens to every record if we only get 30 or 40. Mm-hmm. But it seems like we're going to have more than that.
Sure.
But not an unreasonable number. So let's say there are 100 records and there's 15 judges. Well, each judge might listen to 15 records, which would mean, and I'd have to do the math here, but that might mean that every record is listened to by 5 unique judges, but not all 15.
Right.
Well, those 5 will rank the records they listen to, and from that, combined with the scores of all the others, you'll end up with your top 10. Which won't be a top 10, it'll be more like a top 20, and then we will go behind before we notify all those people and do 2 things. 1, we will make sure that they are who they say they are, and 2, we will make sure that they are not terrible devil people.
Right.
And as long as those 2 things check out and they're in the top 10, then they'll move forward. We will reach out to them, let them know. We'll confirm if they're available to perform or not at the event on June the 6th at the Longhorn Ballroom. And then we'll announce those 10 finalists, or 10 semifinalists. And for 3 months, basically, we'll promote all 10 of those artists. And there will be a public voting segment to that will only kick in after the 10 semifinalists have been announced and will account for 40% of the winners total. The judges will then rejudge every one of those albums. So every judge will listen to all 10 of those albums. And their composite rankings will account for 60% and the public's will account for 40%. And before anybody says anything or asks the question, that is to ensure, and I'll just say this out loud, that it is not a popularity contest, but that the public does have some influence over what happens, because it does need to be a commercially viable thing, and popularity does matter in success,
Sure.
right?
One question real quick. The fan vote, is that like 1 vote per email, or how's that going to look?
It'll be an online vote, and we have to be honest with you, Andrew, I don't know the answer to that, but my assumption is that it will be 1 vote per day.
Okay.
Per email.
Okay.
But it may be 1 vote per person total.
Okay.
But of course, and I'm going to be real honest here again, sorry, I'm leaning back. Some of that is JAMBALOO didn't even have social media last year.
Right.
So we're trying to build a little bit of an audience. And again, to be honest, we want people to go to the website because that moves it up in SEO, and the more people that see it, the more people are aware of what we're doing, and the more people that will come to the event, and the more people that will come to the festival next year. So there's some selfishness built into that, but we didn't want to exclude the public. But it's also, and no offense to any other thing that does it that way, that's just not what this is. This is really designed to be something that is taken extremely seriously as an art award.
Yeah, no, I like it because we don't want Bodie McBoatface to win this award at all. we want there to be some legitimacy into the
And I
bands.
have a background I was in the craft beer world for a really long time, and I'll never forget, as long as I live, some of the insane online fan voting things that went on in the craft beer world. Like, you talk about jumping the shark. This was times 10. And it was really, what it ended up being in some weird ways was there was some kind of like destructive element to it where people felt slighted because it wasn't really based on who made the best beer. It was who could get the most people to go on Facebook and click a button.
Sure, yeah.
And so there'll be some of that to this, but not enough that it's going to, and I'll say it out loud, would never, ever, ever let the public pick those 10 final albums. That's the filter, right? The only 10 albums that are shown to the public are all going to be good because of the people that are deciding which 10 they are.
Right, they'll all be legit.
And so if sorry, this is such a jaded way to look at it, but if the public picked the worst one of those 10 albums, well, A, they only account for 40%, and B, it's still one of the 10 best albums, according to these judges.
Yeah, I mean, it's like to say the worst of the 10. It's like that's a misnomer. Because it's the
again. I framed it horribly. Somehow I've turned it negative.
I think we follow though. That's cool.
But anyway, you get the idea.
So wait, so that show at Longhorn, that's all 10 bands are playing?
No, but another good question.
Okay.
Thank you for asking the questions to allow me to explain what all this is.
Sure, that's what we're here for.
So there will be 10 semifinalists Everybody will vote on those. We'll close the voting 1st of May. And then we'll announce who the judges were, because by then everything's been decided. And I'll know, and a couple of other people, but nobody else will know. The judges won't even know. They won't know who each of them voted for, unless they tell each other, which they may. And then we will announce the 3 finalists. There's too many names. Semifinalists, finalists. And those 3 bands will perform as direct support to a national headliner that will play on June the 6th at the Longhorn Ballroom.
Cool.
That night, Tre Nagella, who is the owner of Luminous Sound, will announce the winner and give out the trophy on stage. And so that'll be a big night. And I don't know. We're looking for the headliner right now, working with the nice, wonderful folks over at the Longhorn Ballroom to figure that out. But, it'll be somebody fun. And I don't want to set the bar too high here. We're not.
Yeah.
It will be a band that you might think you would ordinarily see play at the Longhorn Ballroom.
Okay.
Someone of that ilk.
Which
right?
there's a lot of great bands at the Longhorn. That's not.
Yeah, and it's a wide range.
Yes.
That still gives us a lot of leeway.
Yeah, absolutely. Every genre. Speaking of that, there's nothing to do with genres. It's just whatever the judges pick. It could be 10 country bands in theory.
Yeah, well, I will say this. This isn't, and they can enter, and I guess they could win. But the one area of music that is extremely well supported in terms of things like this, prizes and stuff like this, is classical and piano and symphony stuff. And so, and I listen to all that too, but this isn't for that. This is for people that play in venues.
Right.
In independent venues. And I don't think I have to, but if somebody wants to enter their symphony, well then enter away.
Yeah.
I very much doubt that these 15 judges are going to pick your piece of classical music. But if it's exceptional, maybe. I don't know.
Huh.
So it's not closed to anything.
Gotcha.
At all. But I suspect what we'll get is everything except classical.
Right.
Music,
okay.
Or opera, or
Okay. So it'll be 3 bands and the unknown headliner, the final 3 bands. Which thank you, because I'll be at that show, and 4 bands is plenty to see in one night. I'm old. Like that festival that has 100 bands, it's going to be rough for us old folks. Us. I'm old. You can call yourself what you want.
If you're old, I'm old.
Right. Okay. Well, God, what have I missed? So you get the money. What else? What are the other prizes?
They get to go record a single at Luminous Sound. And again, I mentioned his name earlier, but Tre Nagella is the owner, and he's won 4 Grammys. Really, and just a wonderful human being. But if you've never seen that place, it's like if Star Trek was a studio. And there isn't, in terms of, I don't know how you would describe it, investment in capital equipment, there's not another place like that here.
What is, not him, but I don't even know what it costs to do a single these days. That's another added value, I guess.
Yeah, to do a single with Tre at his studio would I don't want to say an amount, but it's not something that...
It's not a $500 song.
Correct. It is not a $500 song.
Right.
And I think just the things that you're capable of doing in a studio like that, recording-wise, if you have the right piece of art, you can't do at a lot of other studios. So, and I think it'd just be a cool experience. It'd be the same. This same studio, Blake Shelton has recorded a record there. Lady Gaga has recorded a record there.
Wow.
Travis Scott has recorded a record there. Tre has worked with Taylor Swift. I could just stop there.
Yeah.
Not in that studio, but Tre has done mixing for Taylor Swift.
Yeah.
So
you're in good hands if you get this song. Yeah.
So that's a big piece of it. And then the KXT part, I think, which I mentioned, They're going to put a song, and within reason, it has to adhere to FCC guidelines. And let's also be honest, KXT has a certain range of music they play, which is incredibly broad.
Yeah.
But they're probably not going to play, if it happens to be some hardcore hip hop, well, then that probably isn't going to pan out for that artist. But otherwise, they're going to play, or maybe it will, but it probably wouldn't make it into rotation if it doesn't fit their genre, right?
Sure.
So they're going to play that on there. They're going to have them come into the studio and record video of them performing.
Oh, like a KXT.
Which will be a KXT live session.
Yep.
And then they are going to, and they've already gotten approval for this, that one will be uploaded to the NPR feed also. So just that one thing alone is some pretty significant exposure that they otherwise wouldn't get it. And then the Tre thing then also, and these are, I don't even want to say they're smaller things. They're not as sexy on a piece of paper, but in terms of making shit happen, they matter. So Pre-Kindle, which is a JAMBALOO partner this year, and people don't know Pre-Kindle is a big ticketing company, right?
Yeah.
That was started locally in Dallas, and has I think I can say their size of their email. I'm going to say it anyway. They have a 650,000 person email list.
Oh, wow.
Most of which are in DFW. And the winner will have an email to send to those people just to promote the fact that they won in that album. Do 214, who is also a partner of ours, and I would be lying if I told you the exact value, and I buy ads from them, so I know it was real, but it was well over a $5,000 package, including some things that you can't buy, right? Like for them to follow you on their page, which I think they follow like 15 DFW artists. And that just means that all your shows get in their feeds all around the country. So if you're a touring artist and you were touring in Houston, well, then it's your shows will automatically show up in the Do 713 feed or the Do 512 feed or the Do 210 feed. Small, but if you're trying to build a tour, it's a little something that helps.
Sure.
Also, they have a massive email list. You'll get that. So I think and as with everything that we've done so far, I think you'll find too that we'll probably end up doing more than what is on that piece of paper. Because I watch, the guys at Mullen and Mullen, like they get excited when things are working and they want to support them even more. So I'm really excited to see what happens when somebody does win this thing, and I hope they catch a little wind because you never know, right? I mean,
Oh, yeah.
It's such a unpredictable world.
It's such a different kind of thing, and especially for this area. And I don't know. I mean, I live in a different bubble than everyone else, so I feel like I'm seeing this uptick. But like it's sort of like the more energy we put into that, and this is something that's really going to push because like a lot of bands are going to want to be part of this. And then the top 10 even, I can envision them getting played on KXT. Like, hey, these are the top bands, and it's just like it lifts up these bands in a way, like you said, that maybe they didn't have that opportunity, and maybe it sets a trend or just brings back more interest in local music because we do have unbelievably great local music, and it's not everybody's tapped in, and it's not hard to tap in. It's easier than seeing a national act even. So
yeah, for sure. And I think you have to think for the people that have partnered with us on this, you have to think of what an interesting scenario that is for them to be approached about, right? For instance, Josie Records. Hey, we, personal injury law firm guys, are going to throw a bunch of money at doing something cool for the music scene, and we also want you to throw some of your money at it too. And that's a weird conversation to have, and especially in year one. And, fortunately, we have relationships with all these people, so it makes it a little easier. But not all of them. I mean, some of these were newer conversations. And I was so surprised and pleased with the reaction that we got. And I would say this, Corey's personal opinion, it would not surprise me at all if next year all or most of these people, if we do what we're supposed to do, come back and say, hey, that was awesome. We want to do a little more this year.
Sure.
And there are other people, I mean, we ran out of time, frankly. There are other people that I already have in my brain that I would love to have be a part of this, but, you know, at some point you just gotta hit print, right? You can't keep editing.
Sure.
So I think it's not perfect, it's not finished, it's what we could do on the timeline that we had available to us, but as with everything that we're doing, I hope that this evolves and grows and gets bigger, and including the dollar amount.
Right.
I will say this, the Mercury Music Prize and the Polaris are both $50,000.
Okay.
So that's a number that's
like a national,
that we're aware of.
Those are
right?
national.
Those are both
awards.
National prizes.
Yeah. I know what I was going to ask. Second and third place, they just get to play the show. Is there anything else they get out of that besides the publicity?
They get to play at the Longhorn Ballroom. All of those artists are paid. So in that you can see that if you're a band, we're paying you $2,000. If you're a solo person, we're paying you $1,000. So they get paid for that. The 10 semifinalists, all 10 of them get a display in Josie Record for 3 months.
Oh, cool. Okay.
So, and it's not like the shitty one that they don't face to the front door. When I talk about Josie Records, I'm always talking about the big Josie Records. I know there are other ones. I don't go to the other ones as often. Mm-hmm. But in the main store, when you walk in and you look straight ahead, there is a display rack right there. If you walk straight, you will hit it with your left shoulder. That is where these people will be displayed, and it was super specific. And then, I don't know where in the other stores, but a similarly prominent space. And it won't just be that they're there. We're going to build a thing that highlights them as JAMBALOO Music Prize finalists. The winner will have a sticker, just like Polaris and Mercury do, that they were the winner. And the first year, most people are going to be like, why's that stupid sticker on this record? But I think over time, you know, if you look at what the Mercury, look at the record sales for the artist that wins the Mercury Music Prize the week after they win it. It's a life changing.
Yeah.
And come on, we're not a piece of gum on the shoe of the Mercury Music Prize yet, but it doesn't mean that we couldn't become that, and it doesn't mean that within DFW we might be just as important or even more important as the Mercury Music Prize is in the United Kingdom. Right? We're not trying to have the nation's biggest anything. We want to have the thing that makes the biggest difference in a city, and the city is DFW.
Yeah. And I mean, I say it all the time in this podcast, the local talent musically is astounding. It's like
it really is.
People that don't pay attention to it maybe don't realize, but take a listen every now and again. I mean, venture into Deep Allamore and some of those great venues in Fort Worth if you're out that way.
And it's so diverse. That's
every genre.
Like if you, cities that have, New York for sure, of course, LA, of course, but if you mix in the depth of genres that Dallas has, I mean, Dallas has a pretty legitimate hip hop scene that I don't pretend to know it in depth, but I know the people that do, and I know it well enough to know that it's not shitty.
Yeah.
And obviously country and all that, but Dallas has an incredible jazz scene. I'm because I'm old like you, right? I love to go watch jazz, but you can go watch free jazz in Dallas pretty much 5 nights a week. And you're seeing somebody that in New York City you'd be paying $25 to walk in the door to see for free. Because there are so many of them, and there's not, the market for jazz in Dallas is not what it is in New York City. So I think Dallas is one of the most unique cities musically in the world because of the diversity. And Booker T. Washington matters a ton. The fact that Erica lives here and that entire scene kind of revolves around her and that's based here. Dallas is sneaky.
Yeah, no,
Sneaky up there.
Joshua Ray, Leon Bridges.
Yeah.
I mean, it's diverse. I mean, all those are different genres, pretty much.
Well, and St. Vincent, Nora Jones, Waxahachie.
Yeah.
I mean, you could Pantera. There's, I mean, regardless of the genre, you can find a world-class musician or 10.
Yeah, it's true. And I mean,
in our city.
Again, it's like if you're thinking, it'd be cool to see a live show. Oh, it's too much of a hassle. You can get into most shows in Dallas. I can tell you from personal experience that there's usually an extra few tickets lying around.
Yeah, well, and I'll tell you too, everybody's struggling, or not everybody, but some people are struggling and worrying about what shit costs. Well, you know what? It is expensive to go see a show at the AAC. Mm-hmm. Really expensive. So cut that out of your budget and go see 10 of them in Deep Ellum, and you'll still have money left over to pay for dinner.
Yep.
Right? I mean, so as people make choices about their dollars, I hope that they don't make the choice to not support live music. I just hope they make the choice, hey, I can't spend as much. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go support the local shit that we have here because I keep hearing how good it is. And yes, if you wander around looking for music, you're going to walk into a stinker once in a while.
Sure.
I mean, everybody has. But for the most part, if they're good enough to be playing in a club, and if they're good enough to make you pay even $5 to walk in the door, then you're going to get your money's worth.
Absolutely. Yeah.
In this city.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's true everywhere else, but I can promise you it is here.
Oh yeah, no, it's and again, like Deep Ellum,
It's hard to pay to go see a shitty show in Dallas.
Yeah,
it really is.
Agreed. Yeah, I mean,
and that's not true in every city.
Unless it's just not your genre, which you just have to do a little homework. That's all. Because if you don't like that genre, go to the next club down the street and you'll find something different.
This won't even be a plug, but this is a perfect example. So Friday night, tomorrow night, day after tomorrow, as we're recording this. Is it okay to reference
Yeah,
date?
sure.
So Friday night, Gary Newman
Yep.
is playing at Ferris. It may rain it out. Playing at Ferris Wheeler's. Literally 3 blocks away, and I will walk, unless it's raining, from one to the other. Robert Trusco and a jazz group are doing an MF Doom tribute night at Triumphs, and that's free. So within 3 blocks of one another, in Dallas, I can go see an outdoor venue. I can see Gary Newman play. I can walk 3 blocks over and see some really kick-ass jazz musicians.
Yeah, Trusco's unreal.
Doing an MF Doom tribute night.
Yeah.
Like, that is the definition of a vibrant music scene. And I'm just talking about 2 shows in a 3-block area.
Yeah.
And I promise you, on that same night, there's 20 other awesome things going on in DFW.
Absolutely, yeah.
That are probably cooler than most of what other people choose to do on those nights.
Yep.
And if you're afraid of Deep Ellum, you shouldn't be. But if you are, then go somewhere else.
Mm-hmm.
Go to Bishop Arts. Go Cliff. Go to the Design District. Go to Triumphs. Go to Ferris Wheeler's. There's places in Fort Worth. There is no reason in this city to not go see music. It is not money, and it is not because you're afraid of going out.
Yep.
Those are not good excuses.
Yep.
And it's not because there's not great music to go be seen.
Yep. Oh, absolutely. All true. And needs to be said more. So we
got off subject.
Yeah, no, but that's,
got randy.
I mean, the Dallas music scene is the subject. This is just, these are methods and devices to try to bring more attention to it, build it up. So I don't think we were going off at all.
Okay.
Is there anything else that we want to talk about that you guys are doing, or is it we'll come back and revisit?
No, I mean, we have a ton of stuff in the hopper, a couple of really off-the-wall weird things, but I'm not ready to talk about them, but it's, as I've told people, I'm not kidding you, I feel like I have the best job in the entire world, and I don't. I mean, people bring me ideas. Very few of these ideas are mine. The Music Prize is not my idea. That was someone else's idea. But I get to hear all these amazing ideas, and then I kind of get to choose which ones to do and not to do and bring them to life. And I know the stuff that we have cooking, and I'm super excited about the difference that all of this stuff collectively is going to make.
Excellent.
In DFW, because I know it will make a difference.
Yeah.
You can't do all of even if we do a terrible job at it, the size, scale, scope, reach, all that, I know it's going to help. So,
Excellent.
So even if I'm shitty at my job, the goals will still be achieved, right?
Right. Well, I, as a member of this music scene, I am so happy for so many reasons that Mullen and Mullen Music Project exists and the JAMBALOO is happening, and this contest is just another like great part of it. So thanks to you and your guys, and thanks for coming out and talking about it. And we always have a place for you to tell us about the cool things coming up on this show.
Well, great. Well, hopefully we have lots of cool things to tell you about coming up. And I guess stay tuned. We'll let everybody know how they can vote. We will announce those semifinalists during JAMBALOO and the headliner for that show. And that show on June the 6th at Longhorn Ballroom will be free, like every other thing that we do with our SVP. We got to get your phone number and your email address.
Of course.
But it should be a good time. And there'll be some, I mean, we got a ways. I have other things to figure out between now and then, but there'll be some other neat things going on that evening at the Longhorn Ballroom. We don't want to make it boring. There'll be some texture, I promise.
Excellent. All
And
right,
a
we'll
good time.
be looking out for all this, and we will share everything on the Instagram and that comes up. And thanks again.
All right. Well, thank you, Andrew. Appreciate it.
Today at Mullen and Mullen Music Project for everything they do for this music community here in DFW. You can get all the information for the contest and the festival at jambaloo.live. Theme song Unstoppable by Salim Narala, and the outro is The Place to Be by Electric Ants. Thanks again to the Mullen and Mullen Music Project for their support. Like, subscribe, and share the podcast, and we'll see you next week.